All right, Jared. Tell the story.
The story of...
I'm missing the top of your head. Yeah, I got your head. Just there. I got all your hair now. Oh, you're right in the middle now.
I'm good?
You're good.
Did I talk to the camera or talk to you?
I don't know. Shit, you're the film guy. Look, there's $1 in here.
That's my dollar.
It's not your dollar. It's God's dollar.
Alright, so I'm going to tell you a story about how I actually put a guy in the hospital. And not because he owed me any money. I'm trying to think of the details of the story.
You have this game at work.
Yo, I want to know how it happened.
Explain the game. What's the game you play?
The point is, alright, me and my friend, I sit across from somebody at the desk in my job. I have an office job. And we sit on the phone all day talking to people, and every now and then you get a little bored, right? Understandably. And can I have that as a prop, actually? Thanks. So my friend was really bored and was like, hey, let me see your hand. And so I showed him my hand. He's like, lay it out. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, if you're a true man, you'll let me drop this pen onto your hand. And I said, well, I am a true man, so let's do it. And I stuck my hand out, and he dropped it right on my hand. Probably hit me around this area. I don't know if you can see the X right in that area. And I said, all right, now it's your turn. He's like, fine. And he's like, got his hand, and I dropped it on his hand. We would do this on and off for a couple weeks. And it was just kind of funny, or whatever. But he thought it'd be funny if he actually like sort of trademarked a pen that had, it didn't come to a cylinder point, it was just like a prick point, and he would use that, and there's no way he could beat me because I had a whiteout pen, and all the weight of it is around here because there's like a whole belly of fluid. And here's the thing, he'd always get shaky hands, and so the pen would hit and deflect my hand, and then you don't get a retry. And I would take my whiteout pen, which was huge. It's more like this, and I would stick it and drop it.
Raise your hand higher so you can see.
Right. So it's more like this, and if you watch it, you go right. And the thing is that mine wouldn't. The wind resistance. It was like perfectly aerodynamic. The thing's like NASA could have like designed it because it's perfect for this. And he never caught on. Then mine weighed like an ounce, and he had like a dinky Bic pen. Anyway, so he's like, he did it to me, because he's like, Jared, last time I bled. I'm like, you didn't bleed. He's like, I owe you one, stick out your hand. And I did, and he dropped it, and I started to bleed. And I was like, that's it. Like a little tiny drop. I'm thinking, it is weird. I'm like, stick out your hand, Kurt. He's like, no, I don't wanna. I'm like, stick out your hand. Stick it out. And, and I'd be like, Kurt, stick it out. And he did. And I go, woo. But instead of there, I go, woo. Probably about 2 feet up. And Kurt, trembling, I dropped it. And it stuck in his hand. And blood goes like a fountain. And he cupped his hand and he goes, ah! And everyone started staring in the whole office. Everyone in the whole office is just staring at him. And I have to go back to typing so that nobody thinks that I did anything. Meanwhile, there's a pool of blood leaking over his desk. And I really do mean this. Like, I'm not even, like, there's no way. I'm thinking to myself, there's no way this is possible. Like, there's a prank on, like, he pulled a prank on me. And he runs to the bathroom, and everybody gets up to go see if he's all right. And I actually punctured one of his veins. And I had to tell my boss that I stabbed a person and had to take him to the emergency room because his face went pale and he almost passed out. And pretty much had to write all this down in a story for Human Resources so I didn't get fired, or that they didn't think I'd sue them, or that Kurt would sue them for anything.
And what happened to the ER?
Then in ER, basically the doctor's like, what happened?
At Mass General.
At Mass General, Massachusetts General for all general things. This was a general wound. They go, "What happened, Kurt?" And this is after like 2 hours of waiting in the lobby. Kurt's like, "Oh, a friend dropped a pin on my hand." And they go, "Stick out your hand, Kurt." No, I'm just kidding. They didn't say that. But they just wrapped it up and sent him on his way. He was back like 5 hours later. And it got around the entire building. So people were like calling to be like, "So Kurt got punched in the face and his nose broke and blood flew over a girl's skirt and stained her skirt. And is this true?" And we're like, "No, not at all. The truth is actually much more mystifying than that. That's an actual, that's legitimate. That could happen." Anyway, point being, Kurt's better now. We both still have our jobs. And I told this story to forewarn people what could happen when pens and hands get mixed up. And Bill thinks it's great that he's sharing this with the world now. He actually used it. Here, you can take a look at him. Look at him. Look at it. He's guilty. There's no peace in that. You drop pins on people's hands and you laugh.
My coworker, I drop it on my coworker every time he messes up. It's great.
And how often
Yeah, I'm gonna show this to him. I can't. I'm gonna edit all this out.
Just tell him. How often does your coworker mess up?
He's got like 6 or 7 like blood marks where he's bled on his hand. Oh, so it's the funniest thing in the world.
He's not an innocent man. Bill has spilt blood. That's who Bill is. He's not a man of peace at all. Bill, one last thing though. I do want to say this. Why does your coworker insist on keeping his hand out there time after time?
Well, my other coworker removed his hand, and my friend was like, I would never shame my family like that. I would never shame my family by pulling my hand and the pen was dropping.
His coworker is actually Chinese, and he doesn't Japanese. And he doesn't want to shame his family by removing his hand too soon, which is a penalty of 2 drops at that point.
No, it's a stabbing.
It's just a straight up stabbing. And actually, you have to flip over your hand, and it goes for the wrist, and then you're done for. Wrist shot. Anyway,
Wait, hold on.
Don't
Stick
try
out your
this
hand,
out.
Jared.
Here we go. We're actually going to demonstrate it for you right now. We're not going to demonstrate it for you at all.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Stick out your hand.
Let's reenact
Do it, do it.
Let's just reenact
Do
it.
Stick out your hand.
No.
Stick out your hand.
No.
Stick out your hand.
No. No. Get away.
I'll throw it. That's 2.
Look. These things hurt. Watch.
If you're a real man, if you were a real man, this wouldn't have been a problem. This video is getting really long.
Blood! That's the reality of pens and hands. Peace.
Peace.